The housekeeper, Allison Death.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Chris. I'm Alex Dingman.
And I'm Chris Walker.
And this is another episode of Inside Scoop. All right, guys. Well, first, we got to tell everybody first, welcome, Chris. Thanks for joining Inside Scoop. But we got to let everybody know, why the hell is Jeff not here? Jeff's not here today. He said he might chime in and give a little hey. Jeff had one of the absolute craziest things that could ever happen to a human. So I'm going to give you the Cliff Notes version. I was texting Jeff. We were talking about the show today, and he went silent for a little bit, and I was kind of pressing him like, "Yo, what's up? What's up?" And he goes, "Well, hey, sorry, give me a minute. A truck just ran through my karate school." And I went, "Wait, what?" So a truck and trailer drove through his karate school and like other tenants in the building. That actually happened. He sent us videos and pictures.
Yeah, bananas.
You can't make it up.
A truck literally ran into his dojo building, and they're sketchy on the structure of the building right now. They had to pull the car out. Apparently, the guy had a heart attack, right? The driver of the truck.
What he was hitting on, yeah.
He was saying he had a heart attack, but luckily he made it, and there were no injuries, and everything was okay. It's just the building now and figuring out the school. So prayers out to Jeff and the guy driving the truck, and hopefully everything gets squared away and patched up, here soon for him.
Well, here's Jeff. So I'm talking to him about what we're gonna do later on. Inside Scoop's gonna have a special later on in the week, so look out for that this weekend. And we're talking about that, and he's like, "Well, I'm going to have classes to teach." And I go, "Jeff, you're not going to have classes to teach. Give it up for at least a few weeks at like the minimum. Like, you don't have any classes to teach.
No,
it's not possible." Because, and he was telling me, he says, "Listen, I live in such a small enough town that the parents of some of my students are the firefighters who were there on scene. And they're like, well, we're going to try to save your mats as much as possible." And I'm like, dude, it's a multi-million-dollar insurance claim. That's what this is. And what they were concerned about is if they move the truck, the entire building,
the structure of the building,
collapse. So, yeah, that's just madness. So, wow, that's an interesting way to start off the show. But so we're going to have at some point in the show as well, Mallory Woods is going to jump on. He is on the scene at WKC World Championships. So that will be good to hear kind of what the updates are over there. But man, we were just catching up on, speaking of world championships, on what was happening with the world championships of Waco. And I know, man, let's just get right into it. Let's just talk a little bit more about the Elijah Bailey fight. I mean, that's what there is to talk about. Yes, there was other storylines.
Right.
And there were great ones. Troy Binns was a fantastic one.
Yeah.
Right. The ladies having their own, 3-person team fight. That was a fantastic one. USA having the most medals they've ever had. That's a fantastic one. But it all falls secondary to Elijah and Bailey. So having this, I mean, it was something. If you guys haven't watched it, the live stream is available. You guys can go watch it. It was a fantastic 3-round match where Bailey was up 2 points.
2 at the end of the first round.
At the end of the first round. And then Elijah pulled back to be up 4 points at the end of the second to then win by the spread with around 30 seconds left in the match. So that was a difference from round 1 to round 3. And so we're watching it and we know what we're getting from both of those two. Now, I mean, I know Elijah's close to you. You guys have trained with each other for a long time. What did you say? They don't call it Grand Slam martial arts for nothing. That's a good one. That was a good one, Phil. Not gonna lie.
Not too soon. Not too soon.
Yeah.
What's up, Yaskar? Speaking of that, Yaskar's in the finals. He's in the gold medal round.
Oh, it was already. See, that's what I wanted to get the heads up on. I was watching some of the live streams. I couldn't find
that. I keep up with certain people. So
all right, dope.
I know he's in the gold medal round. There's a few people in the gold medal round coming up. I believe John Cortolo is also in the gold medal round. It's my guy, bro.
Hey, John Cortolo is good.
Yeah, and I got a shirt, bro.
You got one?
Yeah, I got one. I got it upstairs. I knew I should have worn it for this show.
I should have worn it too.
Oh goodness. Well, yeah. So you want to go back to Waco real quick before we shout out to
before we go then I left feeling like there's no one faster in the world than Elijah Everill. Now I felt that going into that, but like there's nobody faster, and I just started going through my head like the fastest fighters that I've ever personally encountered,
right?
And Ray is obviously really, really fast. All right. But a lot of that is he can manipulate you to kind of take a step forward. And then because he's got, 17-foot arms, he can reach through you as well. All right. But I mean, from point A to point B, Robbie Lavoie, Laszlo Gambos, Elijah Everill. I mean, I think they're like the fastest I've ever seen. And I think Elijah tops all of them. But what do you think about that, about just pure speed?
I think Elijah's a mixture of getting to the right spacing, having the length being longer than you think, and yes, having absolute dynamic explosion and speed to get from A to B. I think it's the combination of that. I think there are a ton of people who are super fast. Joe Fife, like you said, Robbie, Laszlo. There's a ton of people who are fast. I think what makes Elijah different is the combination of those three things.
All right, maybe here's something for you. Who's someone who's like ridiculously fast that maybe everybody wouldn't know about?
I don't know if everybody doesn't know about him, but I don't think they know him as well. It's probably Speedy.
Okay, Speedy Brandon.
Yeah.
Sergio.
He's fast. Pure off the line movement, get in and get out. He's very fast. I spar him all the time. He's super fast. But other than that, you kind of know most of the fast people.
I mean, like Timmy Sarantudis.
Timmy's incredibly fast. There are a lot of them over in Europe because of the way they explode into the body jab. I think that there are a lot of them they're very, very fast. There are a ton of Italians who come off the line like out of nowhere, like you're like, oh geez, okay, I gotta take a half step. I gotta make an adjustment on that. That was faster than I anticipated. So,
all right, I'm gonna bring up something because I was kicking this around in my head, and I'm like, man, I don't know. I'm watching that fight. So we had the kickboxing world championships. Okay, the World Amateur Kickboxing Association World Championships.
Right.
Should point fighting have a kick minimum?
I was wondering when somebody was going to say it.
It's the only one that doesn't have a kick minimum. You know what I mean? The other ones have kick minimums. Should point fighting?
An interesting concept there, Mr. Dingman. People are over here advocating for 2-point body kicks and keeping fighting exciting. And we have people who throw one maybe kick in an entire 6 minutes of fighting or almost 6 minutes of fighting.
Right.
No.
No. Why?
If you don't have to, why? Because then you're just going to see a bunch of forced stuff.
Or they would have to be good at it. Do you know what I mean? Like, why train something? This is why. All right, like.
So I think you'll see more defensive side kicks instead of body jabs, but
that might be better. But
that's
see,
about it.
All right, like Taekwondo fighters.
But why are we doing more work and fighting for using more energy and exertion when I can do the same thing with less energy with a jab?
But then are we kickboxing then? You know what I mean?
It's called semi-contact anyway. So what is semi? What makes it semi? The power, the amount, the variety of technique.
Oh, I get what you're saying, but then even so, if we're not having a kick in there,
Okay,
is it kickboxing? You see what I'm saying?
I think it's semi-contact kickboxing. Because how many did you count how many kicks he threw?
I think he only threw one.
That's what I counted as well.
Yeah. And I went back and I rewatched it because I didn't think I was like, that can't be right. And I'm like, oh,
so what are you going to advocate for? 8 kicks around?
There's no freaking way.
So exactly, and that goes into a perception of what judge considers a kick. Is a kick in the air, or is a kick something that you're attempting to hit with? How close do you have to get? What do you have to do to consider it a kick? That could throw off a ton of things.
That's
unless
true.
you make 3 kick minimum or some nonsense like that.
And then it might end up to be like the contemporary forms rule in NBL, where everybody had to do 3 standing kicks in a row, and they would do 1, 2, 3 to start their form, and then just do the rest of their form that they would normally do.
Yes, they would do that on the bow, and they'd walk up, go to the judges, whop, whop, whop. Yeah. So, I mean, what's going to consider? How is that going to be judged? How is that going to be enforced and mandated? You know what I mean? We have a hard enough time with the body jab and the 2-point side kicks, man. Let's.
All right. Well, then I have a better question for you.
Okay.
If you could take out the body jab,
yes,
or have a kick minimum, what would it be?
Are you asking me if I'd prefer the body jab or a kick minimum?
Yeah.
I'll go with the body jab.
No freaking way.
Over a kick minimum, yeah.
Wow.
Exactly. Phil, I'm on you. I'm on it with you. What would be considered a kick? And who gets to decide that? We have a hard enough time getting referees to decide what's a punch and what we already have in place, let alone adding in a minimum.
I totally thought you were going to go the other way.
No.
I thought you were going to go the other way on that one. That's blowing my mind. And
we're talking because you said a body jab. You didn't say a lead hand to the body. You didn't say a body back fist. You didn't say a fadeaway tickle punch. You didn't. There's that you distinctively said a body jab. So I consider a body jab a technique if it's a jab and it has some substance behind it. If there's a retraction behind it. If it's a real punch. I
don't mind the body jab offensively. Offensively, I don't mind it. I actually think it's okay. Defensively, it's the worst thing in the world.
You just make them pay a little bit on the second pat, pat, pat on it, and then they don't throw it as often.
This is also true.
So, I mean, you have plenty of options in there.
Well, all right. You're blowing my mind because I totally thought you were going to go with this kick minimum thing. I'm going to bring this up later, but right now, let's bring in Mallory. We're going to get a little bit more of the heads up on what is happening right now at the WKC World Championships. I'm really excited because I think today we're into the adult fighting.
Yes,
I think that's where we're at.
Yeah, Wednesday we started adult fighting.
Oh, he just logged off. All right, never mind. Well, he'll come in a minute. All right,
Reggie, you're not wrong. It doesn't require skill; it requires timing.
I'm an advocate for more kicks.
I prefer kicks, but I'm saying who's going to be the judges who's determining what a kick is, who's going to be that third or that fourth and fifth man or woman sitting on the outside counting the kicks and holding the little flag and saying what is what.
I mean,
now you have to have a minimum of 5 judges.
If you got 2 timekeepers, scorekeepers, which a lot of times we do, you only really need one of them to do that job. So if you have one of them counting them, that can work, right? Now
you're trusting a volunteer scorekeeper who sometimes is a parent in the junior division.
Well, I think that's the problem. It shouldn't be that.
Well, listen,
now that's a whole other
guy. Yes, sir. We get what we get. Not everybody has the team of scorekeepers that travels with them.
Wow.
Some do.
That's a good point. All right. Mallory's back. Let's get Mallory in. What's happening?
No.
Hey guys, sorry for the technical issues. You would not believe this, but I am in Universal Studios, and the only place I can find to connect is the Transformer store. I'm not lying to you. I cannot make this up. this is the brightest place I could find is doing Halloween Haunt. It's great. And I managed to find a Wi-Fi signal in literally the Transformer store. I could not make this up.
Well, hey man, we're live on the scene with you, I guess. To give us some updates as to what's happening at the WKC World Championships right now.
So first of all, the WKC is back. We're in Orlando, Florida for this entire week. It's really good to be back for live competition. It's been a great week. It's been so the WKC has also been using Light Action, which is great. It's really enabled them to speed things up. And if you've ever been to a Mike Bernardo event or any event that's run by him, he's very efficient in terms of running his rings. And with this, things have just been running smooth. Forms and Weapons went Monday. You had your kids point sparring on Tuesday and adults continuous. And today was kids continuous and adult point sparring. I know that we've got, Avery Clouden, I think is in the gold medal round. Chris Gorham, John versus Robbie, which will be great tomorrow. I know those two will be facing each other. And I'm trying to remember a few others. I was running back and forth, making sure the streams were up. So that's about all I have from memory.
Okay. I know Connor Bedard as a junior. He's fights for Velocity. I don't remember what country he's representing this at this World Championships, but I know he's a gold medal. We mentioned Yaskar is in the gold medal round as well. Tony's son won, I believe, right? He's in the gold medal round.
He was looking really good. Speaking of Venezuela themselves, man, those guys have brought a lot of fire. I like their camaraderie they've had at the WKC. They're always together, cheering each other on. One of their fighters had a really big win. I was a couple of divisions down, and they had a really big win, and the entire team was there supporting them, man. You have for the USA team and Canadian team, everybody's always all over the place. These guys stuck together, and it's just really, one thing to shout out for them.
It's impossible to not know where they are.
Yes.
That's true. That's true.
They are very animated people, which I can appreciate. So Ronald Zabala, I heard that he's in the gold medal round as well.
Correct. He had a tough fight today. He was a Venezuelan fighter. I forget the fighter's name, but man, they were scrapping and it came down to like the last 30 seconds. Really, really, really tough fight.
We have a question for you now. How many countries this year?
Let's see. I'm going to go off the top of my head. Let's go with United States, Canada, Mexico, Puerto Rico, Venezuela. Let's see. There's Ecuador. One guy from Ecuador who showed up the last time, all by himself. Let's see. We have Argentina, Guatemala, and I'm trying to make sure I don't leave out any other countries. I think that's it. Obviously, we have an absence of the Europeans that, of course, they hope to have fixed next year if the world continues to go back in a normal type of pace or try to get back to normal. No European teams this year, but in the next year, everybody's definitely trying to plan to get back to it. I think I named everyone. That, again, is off the top of my head.
Yeah, okay, so there's no Europeans whatsoever.
No, none that I've seen. I haven't seen anyone from England, Scotland always a heavy presence. Germany, it's just the way that things are with travel restrictions, and I'm quite sure that a lot of people, may not have even been ready. But again, things are going in the right direction, and we hope that will be remedied next year.
Hey, Mike Bates has a good question, which was one I was just thinking of as well, which is any idea of where next year's location is going to be?
At this time, I haven't heard anything that's official. I will try to dig that up for you, but again, since I'm not a WKC representative, I wouldn't feel comfortable. I'm talking about what I've heard. I want it to be official before I mention it.
Absolutely. I respect that.
You're too buttoned up. I just say it.
Now, listen, that's why people like me a Mal.
Hey, you try to get out only truths and not rumors, because those could change in a second.
Reggie Perry's saying he thinks it might be Ireland.
It's definitely a good chance. It could be Ireland. It's always a good shot to go over there to Ireland, where you have a great number of European countries that can reach that area.
Yeah,
could be Ireland. I'm not 100% certain.
Well, yeah, let's hope it gets at least somewhere over there. That way we can get a little bit more European involvement, because the WKC experience I really like, because it's every year. its forms and weapons, and it makes. I think it gives a little bit more credibility to the forms because there's set divisions a little bit more than what you have in Waco.
Right.
So I like that a little bit more. So I think the more people who do the WKC experience, at least go there and do it. I think it's really going to be good for them. But what do you think about that?
You know, I agree, and I've been involved with the WKC since 2014. My first trip was over to Ireland, helping cover things for sport martial arts. And one of the things that I really enjoyed was the way they have the division set up, and you're representing your country. That brings pressure, but it also brings pride. And with that being said, the respect that the competitors have for each other, I saw too. The first time I went, I saw two young ladies. One was from Canada, another was from Germany. The young lady didn't speak any English, and the young lady from Canada didn't speak any German. But they hung out, they exchanged uniforms. Obviously, with the internet, I'm pretty sure they're as in contact, which is, as much as possible with the language barrier. But you see that in this celebration of martial arts with the WKC, that they definitely give everyone a fair chance. They celebrate their champions, and in the end, everyone really gets along, and it really is something for people to look forward to exchange uniforms and make new friends, make new training partners. Just speaking from, I don't think they met through the WKC, but I know when Ben travels, he mentioned he's stayed with Craig and his wife Rachel. I don't know if they met directly through the WKC, but you see friendships being formed, training partners. Hey, come on over. We're only a country apart. Let's train together. And really, it really broadens the aspect of what the martial arts is about.
Okay, so you brought up the uniform thing, and the switching of the uniforms a lot of times happens at the end of the tournament. Well,
Right.
sometimes it can happen just after a division. We're both out and we're friends. But a lot of times people start eyeballing who's got the coolest looking uniform.
That happens before. Listen, that happens before the divisions even start, bro.
Right.
Listen, you already work up, and if you're a competitor and you've been doing it.
So who has the coolest looking uniforms this year? Because it changes.
It does.
Yes, the uniforms do change, and also you see some throwbacks from people who've been to the WKC before. They're wearing some of their older uniforms. This year, I gotta say, man, that Guatemala uniform is on fire, man. Venezuela uniforms look hot too, but it's something about that Guatemala, the blue, the green, the bird. Excuse my ignorance for not knowing what type of bird it is in the back. Luis has a lot of good guys here, and the warm-ups look great. The uniforms look great. If I was competing, I'd be eyeballing Guatemala's uniform this year.
Dude, I got me one of those Guate uniforms. I tell you what. The only one I remember was really dope, but obviously they're not there this year, is Scotland.
They're always fire, man. Scotland always has a great uniform. Malcolm Evans, leading his group of guys down there. And I know I would be kind of line up and trying to, edge my way into getting the uniform in Scotland this year.
So do you think you can get your hands on one?
You know what? I'm going to take it back to the streets and really get my hands on one and just, kind of 5-finger discount it. I don't know. But that's a surefire way of doing it, making sure I get one. But, one of the things I've always thought about, look, that's a surefire way of getting it. If I was there, man, I would love to change uniforms with someone, but they got to wash mine first, man, because you can wring it out after the time I'm finished. You can swap. You can hey, have my U.S. uniform, but you might want to run it through the wash real quick.
I thought about the same thing, and I'm like, listen, we're in the same place. We all know we're going from here to the hotel right back here. There's no washer or dryer in between this place. So you understand what you're getting.
You have to.
You know what you
when we used to do it overseas, you'd have to double bag that thing, man. You'd have to put it. There's some countries that their uniforms are amazing, but you don't want it because you know what you gotta do to get it out.
Listen, I'll call out who some of those countries are. I'll call it out.
They think you got some fire coming over.
I'll call out who some of those countries are because they're my people. Italy is funky, all right. And I'm Italian, so I don't mind. Italy has a certain amount of funk to them. All right. Yes, I said it. All right.
All right.
They're some fantastically talented fighters. Not sure their showering regiment is on the same as everybody else. Just gonna put that one out there. All right.
You're out on this platform. Go ahead and keep going out on the limb.
I mean,
I'm
it
just
is what it
watching you
is.
like
Hey, I'm with you, Mal. Standing on the side with you, like, okay.
like.
Mike says Alex stays his ass in trouble. It's whatever. It's my people. Listen, it's whatever. I don't care. I love them. They're great. Yo, Mallory, thanks for giving us the
Yes, sir.
updates, man. Hey, who is somebody else that is competing forms, weapons, fighting,
Edgar.
who maybe we should really be paying attention to? You say Edgar Cordova?
Edgar is always out there. Good
Yep.
call out,
Six.
Chris.
He's got six. He competes in 6 divisions, and he's going for 6 medals.
Stop.
That dude is. First of all,
What you want me to say, bro? My man is on fire.
Wow.
Yeah, and in addition to being a great guy, if I remember right,
Yes.
he's a paramedic.
Yes.
I mean,
I
the
think I
dude
know
does
that, yeah.
everything. I'd like to throw someone's name in the ring. There's a young man that came up through the virtual tour for the SMA virtual tour. His name is Angel, and if I remember right, he's representing Puerto Rico. And he had just started competing with the virtual tour. We saw him in Atlanta. He was on stage in Atlanta. And, I mean, the kid's kata is just sharp. He is, to be so young, he looks really good. So check him out from Puerto Rico. If I remember right, he is representing Puerto Rico. Angel is the first name. I don't have the last name right off the top of my head.
Dope. All right. Well, hey, you got any other nuggets for us about what's happening this week?
Let's see. Obviously, we will be going into the team sparring round tomorrow, and I think it's the gold medal round for weapons and kata. So stay tuned. We'll have all that stuff being streamed for you. I gotta also shout out Robbie and congratulations on him on being a new dad.
Yeah.
We did a quick. I'm not sure if that update has been posted yet, but we did a quick interview with Robbie, and he just beams when he talks about his son. Man, it's really good to see a guy with his first kid. We've all experienced that pride, and he hasn't missed a step, man. He came out on absolute fire today. Besides getting a little extra sleep because his little man isn't with him, he's which he's enjoying. But
Yes.
he's looked great. Last time I saw Robbie, I know he had a bit of an injury, but he looks amazing, and he's still holding it down. So shout out to him, man.
Big time, because it is. Chris, you and I will kind of talk about that as well.
Yeah.
It's another level. It's a switch sometimes for some people. Like once that moment happens to where you're a parent, it's like it's not the same. It's never the same.
Correct.
Right?
You have new goals. You have all
how
this
you
new stuff,
adjust to being able to do that and having your new life. It's a hard thing.
Exactly. Right.
Congratulations to Robbie. He's in the gold medal round.
Where's John?
Yeah. He wasn't going up against John Curtillo. I'd be cheering him on.
Speaking of also another new father, John.
Oh, that's a great point. Yeah, how the heck, man? These guys are great. Fantastic to both of them.
I mean, obviously, got some free time somewhere because they weren't training, popping out with babies. So hey, hats off to those guys.
Wait.
That's a good one.
Did you have yours here?
Oh
no,
is that the director?
Yeah, Director Plowden's jumping in. No, so
Aloha, people.
Oh my God, I'm so jealous of him. I'm so jealous.
He said he literally came off the beach to come on.
And
So
it's still like 12 o'clock there,
yeah, Lindsay was telling me on Sunday, she was like, "Listen, I might have the baby today," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." And it was like, you kind of get a little jaded because you're like, I've already been through this a couple times. So we didn't have bags packed. We don't have car seat base in the car for the baby. We don't have any of that stuff. And I started thinking about this. I'm like, you don't have any diapers in the house anymore. How are we doing? So now I'm like, I'm doing.
You're in panic mode now, huh?
Yeah, now I'm panic mode. So I got it all. All right. So obviously it didn't happen. So here was the problem is late last week, she had to go get an ultrasound to find out, well, how big is the baby right now? Okay, so last week they were saying, yeah, the baby's 8.5 pounds, and you have 4 weeks to go. What that means is the baby might be a 10.5 to 11 pound baby.
Heavyweight right there.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
exactly, Chris. God bless him.
That's something right there. Yeah, that's like a dinosaur type gargantuan type baby. Right?
That baby gonna be beating you at 6, man.
Now here's the crazy. Now here's the not to hog this part, but this is just like mind blowing. So the hospitals now are just really kind of crazy in Illinois. So the hospital where we are definitely having our baby, we are not 100% if they have a team for anesthesia at all. So what I last heard was that they basically, all the anesthesiologists just left the hospital. So she might be having this watermelon of a baby without any kind of epidural at all.
I got to go back to the old school.
You
Another
know what
strap,
I'm saying?
bite down on it. Hot water.
Shot of bourbon
That's all
and
they-
get
that's
it
all they call
done.
for. Yeah.
Goodness.
Dude. So
Again, bless you.
but then to say this, her mom, Lindsay's one of 7. Her mom had 7 kids at home,
The home birth.
home birth, and for 3 of them, the doctor wasn't even there. That's some
That's
gangster.
a do-it-yourself kit. That's
Yeah.
It's built a different breed.
And you know what the
Market
doctor
Yeah.
said? Doctor
They
said,
different.
listen, after 5, it's on me.
Man, that's
That's something.
they don't even give out coupons to punch 5 holes in. You get the next baby free. I mean, that's a lot.
Basically what he said.
That's a lot of work.
That's basically what he said.
He's in a punch hole.
All right. I don't mean to hog the pod about
No.
it, but I'll be definitely if I'm not on next week, that's why.
Oh Lord. Fair enough.
All right, Mal. Keep us
All right,
updated
Mal.
on what's going on with
Hey,
WKC.
Get back
Appreciate
to
you
your
guys. Keep watching stream. I'm gonna get back here with the Transformers.
more than
and get back to
BCI.
Universal.
Yes,
That's
sir.
right. Later, guys. Thank you so much.
No, thank you, Mal.
Yeah. So that was cool. All right from Universal. No, but for real, she's literally gonna have
About to pop. You ready to go?
she's gonna have a dinosaur type baby for real.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
buddy.
So and then they're starting to say stuff like, so you can only have like one other person, me,
Yeah,
in the
one person.
hospital. So then my mother-in-law, this is some loophole stuff. She goes, well, I'm going to get certified
As a
doula.
midwife or a doula. Yeah.
She says, I'm certified doula at an expert level, right? And then they're like, oh, well, the state said nothing. It can only be that. So now it's like, we don't know. So all we know is that she can go in there and have a baby. That's about all we know. We don't know if she's going to have any drugs. We don't know. I hope the baby comes out, It's like that at this point. So anyway, so then there's something else I wanted to talk about. All right.
What do you want to talk about, Alex?
So you were talking about this right after Diamonds. You were talking about this arbitration issue, right? So, which, listen, in the All-Stars team fight, I already voiced what I would have said on that. You don't need to go in anymore about, because I know how you feel about it, because we feel similarly, all right? But I would have not been able to keep my cool, all right? So, but you guys couldn't really arbitrate because you knew where they were calling, and you knew if you lost the arbitration, not only do you not get the point you should have gotten, they're going to get another point because you lost the arbitration. Do I have that?
Swing.
Yeah, it's or 3-point swing.
Well, it's over. It's over at that point. At the arbitration call, that the match is over.
Right. So, all right. We have to have an arbitration of some kind. But it being like a 1 point, I think is really kind of messed up. I think having like the way NBL did it, what was it? Was it like $20 or something like that, or $50?
$50, I thought, yeah.
$50. So now you got to decide like, how much, how bad do I want to do this? All right. So I don't know. Hey, I heard Jeff is in. Maybe Jeff can chime in on this one as well. If Jeff, if you're in and able to come in.
Yeah.
Yo, what's happening?
What's up, man? What's up, guys? I couldn't stay out for too long,
Well, that's good. Hey,
Jeff.
Jeff.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris, man.
This is a great time for Jeff for you to mention our sponsor because we have yet to do that.
Oh, what? See, you guys are lacking. You're missing me.
I know.
Alex.
That's why we need you.
Virtual Fight Tour, November 20th. We got Jerry Fontenez versus Brian Crum and James Port versus Robbie Lavoie. And we got our new one today or yesterday. Right. I don't even know what day it is right now. But we got the Ben School versus Next Level, man.
Dojo versus Dojo. Next Level.
That's going to be awesome, man. I'm so pumped up for that.
Yeah, that's going to be a variety of ages and belt ranks, right? Because now we're going to see the students putting on a show. So that'll be cool.
That's going to be great, man. That's going to be awesome.
Well, I think that's
you
gonna
guys,
be great because you're going to see, because like some schools, like their high level is like world class, and then there's like a mountain in between, right?
right.
Chicago, as just in general, is kind of that way. Like Chicago's top heavy is all get out, and then sometimes there's not a lot in between. So,
Right.
and that's not saying a school. That's just kind of saying the region, right?
Right.
But you can have schools like that totally easily. So we'll see if it's that way. But I doubt either one of them are going to be like that. I think both of these schools are really.
Dude, these guys, man, it's cool to see what I think is like the lineage. You know, it's like we've seen the progress of. I mean, like we saw Anthony, Kodak, James Ford, and now we're seeing the next level. With with Tyson, Tyson and Darren and those guys, you know, and then there's even more. Yeah, bro. So now we're going to get to see who's next, you know, who's next. And same thing with Ben's, man. Like, if anything over the past year with Virtual Fight Tour, Troy Benz and the Benz Karate School is
legit.
Awesome. Right? They're legit. Not only do they train well, but they're coached well. They can perform during the fight, right? It's because you have some people that are good in the school who are great at working out and great at training, but then when they go to tournaments, they don't do so well. And those are the ones that we say, oh man, they have the most potential. They're the ones that don't do what we think they should. We can't really say that about anyone right now that we've seen in the Virtual Fight Tour from Ben's.
From either one, yeah. Especially
especially from Ben's. I mean, because those guys have just stepped up. So pretty exciting, man. It's going to be fun.
Well, Jeff, we were just starting to touch on a topic.
Yes.
About this arbitration issue. And we were bringing up how NBL used to have it where you could arbitrate a call or a rule.
Right. And what you lost was your money because it was, you know, which in some ways I feel like is more fair than losing a point that had nothing to do. It's like, I don't really like that, you know? And I also had I had an issue with it later on. Boyce kept wanting to make the amount lower and lower and lower because he wanted people to feel like they didn't have to be scared to arbitrate. But the problem is they would arbitrate over stupid things, and it would just, you know, any little thing that you knew was not going to happen. $20 is not that big of a deal when you just spent $100 on a division, right?
Right.
So it's one of those things. So
it's a nice, you know, hefty round number where you got to look at
50 I think was the way to do it. I remember when we were on
egregious.
Yep.
And you're like, F that. I know I'm right. It's
right.
$50. I'll put my money on it. Right.
Yep. But if you knew it was kind of iffy, it was on the line. No. And so, I mean, I remember being when we were on Team Elite and Team CJB, my mom at Super Grands every year had about $500 on her.
Just to throw in for
just for cat, you know, to give to coach or give to Spencer or whoever, you know, for arbitrations. That was just the thing. But back then everyone did that. All the teams did that because the teams knew the rules and knew what was going on.
Yep.
But right now you're even looking at, you didn't even know that back fist to the body was a point. And it wasn't your fault. It was because it was not listed or even acknowledged, right?
Right.
Yep. Yes, so Mike.
They would get it back. They would get it back.
Yeah. Yeah. So if they
won the arbitration, $50 period, it cost you if you lost.
Right.
Yes. It's kind of like a challenge flag.
Yeah. It cost you a timeout, but instead of something affecting the match, it only affected your pocket.
Right. And see, again, the timeout isn't
a price. Yeah.
But again, it's like a timeout is a timeout. But a point in what we do, that you know, especially when it's when it's that the match is already done, right?
Oh, imagine if they did that in the NFL. Imagine if they were like, oh, they get 1 point
touchdown.
There's no
one touchdown.
Way. But even if it was 1 point,
even if it was 1 point,
there's no way. People would lose their freaking mind.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't think it needs to be a point. It could be, well, they don't do timeouts in NASCAR, but, in NBL, it would be a timeout or something like that. But I don't know. But I feel like the money arbitration is better.
But then how do you arbitrate? How do you arbitrate in forms? Like if somebody does like an illegal move and they were, okay.
See, there was never an issue. There was just, that's why the money was it. If you want to put the money in it, you couldn't say, all right, what happens to me? Like that would make sense. Does my score go lower because I lost an arbitration? Especially when maybe I wasn't even the one arbitrating it. It was, your mother or your coach or something. Like you're not, it's just, or it could be even a sideline person or a promoter that did it. I mean.
All right. So where do you think we go from here? Because obviously this can't be the way. Because I think what the goal is to get no arbitrations. Right? That has to be the goal.
Well,
the goal is
train the judges better.
Well, yeah, there's that.
That's not going to happen. As much
you asked. How do you mentioned getting rid of arbitrations? You get rid of arbitrations by getting better judges.
Until Jeremy Roquet is running sport writing tournaments throughout the country.
Right.
It's not happening.
Well, I think he could run a judges league. I think that would be really cool. There needs to be that. There needs to be a judges league.
Do what Waco does. Do what Waco does and actually have people rating your judges and be like, sir, I am sorry. You have made too many trash calls. You, sir, are dropped down to a regional level judge. You are not allowed to judge on the national level.
Yep. Exactly.
Yes. But then you got to pay people to do it. Otherwise, you're going to get rid of volunteers. And volunteers will be like, what do you mean I'm not good enough? Peace. I'm not judging anything now. And they get, the feeling certain that's going to be gone.
Exactly.
Yeah. It has to be. There has to be.
You got to have, if you're going to have standards, you got to have compensation of some variety. I don't know what that is for you, whether you get a free room, at a national level hotel. I don't know, whatever, but you got to figure that out.
That should be happening as is. You should.
Well, and it is. It is at most of them.
It is. It is for the higher levels.
For the centers, most of the time the centers get paid for. The high coordinators get paid for.
Well, who are those people? Those people are promoters.
Right. Yep.
So what are we really talking about?
Right.
It's a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
It is.
Right.
Though. It's
and that's why. So for me, the coordinators were the promoters, and the centers were centers that I wanted to run a ring. So it was different. And then if I could help the other ones, I was able to with either the unfortunate part is that you have people that want to compete too. So you take care of their divisions, but you also don't have them the whole time. So it's a tough thing. That's where we have to, again, like I'm saying, we need less judges and we need more, less high quality, less judges. So that way we can have higher quality judges. But
correct. You get the right judges in the right divisions. You put people who are qualified in each area to do the right things. But again, you got to make it worth people's while to do that and to have some sort of incentive behind it.
So,
however that looks.
So as it sits right now, you got bad calls. Like in the scenario that you guys were in, you just had to take it. You just had to take it. So then,
there wasn't much you could do.
But that happens sometimes as a fighter. And you're just like, there's nothing I can freaking do. But all fighters, most fighters, the real ones, all right, will go, well, I'm letting them the F know, all right? And you're going to just dig in and give it to them, right? And that's what, but how are you going to do it when it's the judge? It's not the fighter's fault. It's the judge's fault, right? You want to hit the judge. Do you ever, maybe Jeff, you have. Have you ever seen?
Have I hit a judge?
Not have you, but
have you ever seen?
Maybe it was you. Have you ever seen a judge get decked?
Oh yeah,
judge just get leveled.
I've seen it on purpose and by accident.
Tell me now.
The most famous on accident one is Lynn, because that was on video.
Oh, okay, that was funny. That was crazy too. The other one
that wasn't on purpose.
No, that wasn't.
There were a couple of judge scraps on purpose though.
I felt bad about that one. So tell about the Lynn Gregory one.
Yeah, say that one.
Who is Dottie fighting? Golly, I don't even.
I don't
remember.
remember. Yeah, I don't remember who she was
I remember
fighting.
Dottie and somebody were going at it, and Lynn went to step through and break it up, and somebody went to slip one in, and as Lynn was coming in, it caught her right in the chin and kind of dropped her and wobbled her.
Yeah, that wasn't the Nikki one, right? That wasn't
No,
the Nikki
No, that
no,
one
no.
was on the. That was in the '98 finals at the battle.
It was at the
99. Yeah, no,
99?
no,
yeah, 99. Yeah, it was 99. It was 99. Yeah,
that's the Nikki Dottie battle. Yeah, but no,
yeah. But the other one was another time.
late late 2000s,
Probably mid 2000s. Yeah,
7 to 9, somewhere in between there.
Yeah, 6,
Right.
7, something like that.
the other one that I saw was I think we talked about this before, was Chris Gallio was the center judge, and he got kicked in the nuts in a continuous fight, and it was hilarious, dude. And Corky, who's like his best friend.
Now this happened on purpose.
No, this didn't happen on purpose. This is an accident.
Okay.
Yeah, like this guy did a roundhouse kick to the body, and the other guy stepped, and it went right into Chris's nuts, and so Corky Sykes is on the mic, and that's like Gallio is like his best friend, or they're best friends, and he just starts dying laughing. Gallio, you all right, bro? You need a cup, bro? Like all on the stage and everything. It was funny, but yeah. So and that little thing is on that's on YouTube. You can find that fight, but I think I posted that before. But as far as other ones, I've so the big one was the Vegas one. I think Mike Pombero talked about it, where the actual center judge actually like hits one of the guys in the nuts and then punches him, and then the whole brawl happens. And I don't know who the center was. I've also seen where like center refs back in the day would like cup check people, like the whole line, right? Would go around and be like, boom, boom, boom. Do you have a cup? Do you have a cup? And they would hit them in the nuts to see if they had a cup. Like, you can't do that now. Okay. That's illegal.
Sounds like something Manny Arguella would do.
I wasn't going to put any names in there. But,
I was in the division when he tried to do that.
Wasn't going to put any names in there, but you know.
I'm not saying something I watched happen to somebody else. I was in the division where something like that happened. So I'm very much aware of that.
Did you see this one?
Oh, yeah. I did see that.
Jesse said he spin hook kicked her by accident. Oh, man.
Dang.
Yeah. So it's a problem. I've had before where I had to break up a fight, and I was the center ref, and the arbitrator came, instead of helping me break up this fight, he grabbed me and told me not to touch the fighters. I was like they're brawling. I'm trying, and they were like teenagers, you know what I mean? So I'm trying to help it out. Find out
teenagers aren't going to stop no matter what.
Yeah, it was all bad. So I kind of just decided I'm going to remove myself from the situation, and you can find another center because.
Okay, have you ever seen a moment though where somebody intentionally fought a ref?
I feel like I have, but I'm trying to think.
Or they were just like, this ref's going to get it.
I mean, I've seen it lately at soccer events, but
yeah.
First of all, what are you doing watching soccer?
My kids play soccer, man. So yeah,
that's right.
But yeah, man, I've seen it lately where they've been yelling at the soccer and then getting into it. But other sports are worse than ours, guys.
I was gonna say I've literally had when I was a kid, my football coach literally fist fought a referee and the other team's coach. They all got into like this huge Royal Rumble over some calls. But listen, it was intense. Yeah. And there were some words being thrown around, and everybody just got into a tussle. Yes.
All right. So
baseball parents, listen. The stories about baseball parents. Come on, man.
Hey, we've seen those wrestling parents videos.
Tame.
We've seen those wrestling videos, right? You've seen those online.
Oh yeah. Parents come by and start tackling the other kid. Yeah.
Oh man.
Now, I've never done this in competition, but like, all right, when I train, like people who train with me, like we train hard, but I goof around a good amount, right? I'm gonna crack some jokes. I'm gonna make fun of people. I'm gonna call them names. Just we're gonna make sure that we're doing this activity because we enjoy it. We're gonna have a good time. I'm gonna make sure in some way, shape, or form we're having fun. So what I've done, just joke around with some of the guys that we train with. If someone doesn't call, like if we're doing points. Oh, thanks, Sam. and somebody like doesn't call a point for me, I'm like, oh, okay. And I'll circle enough just to where I can get the ref like in between us. All right. And then now I mess with them, and now I try to keep them in between, kind of like pickle in the middle. Now, I've never done this, but I could see something like that happening where someone funnels the ref right into action.
Yeah.
Right. Chris, have you ever seen, come on, man, you had to, have you seen everything? Have you ever seen a ref get hit?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, I have. There was a match where there were some discrepancies in the calls, and then the very next thing you see is a backward angle and then a spinning hook kick, and the spinning hook kick kicks the center referee
Yeah.
across the face
Fan.
Wow.
on accident.
No, it's not. Yeah, okay. Sure.
Accident.
I don't know. But that was a funny and interesting matchup.
It was a fun accident.
The ref goes out.
But yeah, that's what I recall seeing in at least one occasion.
Dang.
Oh man, yeah, accident.
Now here, I'll never forget this one. This was 2006. It was at the Diamonds. This was a legit accident. It was Donald Brady versus Gerald Dawson.
Yes, this is
This is a fan. This is, you can find this video.
Yep.
Terry Kramer is the center ref. Now, in classic Donald Brady fashion, Donald Brady tries to like jump the line like a DN, just jumping the catching the snap count. So right as Terry comes in, he typically had gone like this, kind of put his hand in and said, go. Well, on this specific occasion, he stepped in, paused, and Donald spun right as Terry's chest is facing him. Donald does a turn side kick, slam, and
right in the
Terry
chest.
eats all of it.
Yeah.
And he just stands here with his fists on his hips right afterwards. And I was like,
damn.
all right. Just the sheer fact that there's Gerald Dawson, there's Terry Kramer, and then Donald Brady. It's like a mama bear, papa bear, baby bear. Right?
Right.
So come on now.
It's true. It's true.
It's true.
Well, no, I remember that. Mr. Kramer just eats it. Bow!
Yep.
And just took it.
Did you kick me? Like, why would you do that? I didn't even say no. Like,
I think Jessica Robertson even put like that video like on like slow-mo as well.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Oh, I missed that.
Jeff, how is your school doing right now, man? We kind of talked about it a little bit.
We're hanging on by a thread, man. Tomorrow, the front of the building may fall in. I don't know.
I saw that big crack in the picture you sent us. My goodness.
Yeah, bro. It's crazy, man. I'm just blessed.
They built a temporary frame to keep it from teetering over, right?
Yeah. So it's nuts, man. And it's crazy. I can't even explain it all, but I'm blessed that, I was 15 feet away. So
you were in the building.
Yeah, I was in the building. I was in the other room right where it was. An hour earlier, we would have had parents in there and stuff. So definitely a blessing, man. So
wow.
But yeah,
Mike,
so just lots of things to figure out. What'd you say?
I said Mike Bates is right. He commented. He said, "Good thing that wasn't Big Gerald that spin and kicked him."
Yeah, I know. I was saying the same thing because Gerald can spin kick, man.
Listen, Gerald had a beautifully fast spin.
Yeah, he did. We were talking about that this weekend. I was sitting with Eddie Thomas and Jay Bell at a Hall of Fame banquet, and we were talking about the time that Gerald and Ibby were fighting and how Ibby injured himself when he was fighting with Gerald, and just yeah. So crazy. But hold on one second,
a little
guys.
bit, Jeff. We had Mallory on giving us some WKC updates. We were talking a little bit about the Bailey Elijah thing. Now, Chris,
what
can he come to the States? So I know you can kind of travel within the European Union.
Yeah, I don't know what the protocols are for England, Great Britain, whatever. I don't know what the protocols are for him to come back. If he has to be vaccinated or not vaccinated, or what that status is over there, or if he comes back from here, they have to quarantine for 10 to 14 days. I don't know. So if he does come over here, he'd probably want to come over here for a little while and do a couple of things, like have a couple of things like back to back to back around here within a little while to do that. Would be my guess.
Do one event and then leave.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
would it be worth it if there's a 10 or 14 day turnaround and wait? Would somebody want to do that?
I mean,
What are we talking about?
have to depend on the event. If Elijah,
He's talking about if Elijah or any, he said specifically Elijah, but if any European wanted to come over here, what that looked like. And so we were just talking about, the hold, if they got a quarantine time period, vaccination, all that jazz. So
yeah, I mean, do we know what that really is? I mean, I've heard what it is for Canada. It's really tough. They have to pay.
10.
It takes an extra $300 just besides your flight, just to do all that. You have to be vaccinated. You have to. I think it's another like 2 or 3 different tests that you have to take.
Test 72 hours before you travel in and out of your country.
Right.
So Robbie was telling me.
But if you do, there's certain different tests. You can do a more expensive one. You can do a cheaper one. And then if you do the more expensive one, it takes a day off, something crazy like that. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, Andrew was telling me some of that about how that was. So I don't know, man. It's crazy.
Vaccination and a 14-day wait.
Yeah.
I mean,
so I don't know. It's kind of crazy with all that right now with what we're doing. So we heard, did you guys say Dublin? Is that what's happening next year? I mean, that's the rumor, right?
well, Mallory was saying that he didn't get absolute confirmation.
Yeah.
He did hear a rumor about
Reggie Perry said he had heard from one of the presidents that it was going to be in Ireland.
Right.
So
yeah, I had heard that too.
you hear everything.
Oh, good question. What's the incentive for them to come over?
I mean,
Money?
there's a reason
Because
why.
actually they don't get paid over there. But
Yeah,
again, with all
the
the
overall champion does, grand champion does.
Yes.
Okay.
it
I guess 1,000 euros or more, 1,500, $2,000,
Okay.
2 euros. No, they get paid.
Depending on
Teams
the
get paid. It's pretty good money. Forms grands wins money.
okay.
They've caught up.
They have for them.
They're
They've been
divisional.
doing that. They've been doing that since I've been going over there. 05, or 4 or 5 ish.
It's just not the Irish Open. The only one that the Irish Open gets money is the open weight.
Well, that's pretty much what I'm saying.
Doesn't
Yeah.
teams
Overweight,
get money?
Forms grands. So they have a form grand championship that wins money. Because they only had one forms division period with like 7 of us by invite only.
Right.
But they gave money for that. But yes,
Yeah, but
it's one winner. They
Again,
don't
it's one winner. Like there's
They
not
don't do
seniors. There's
divisional
not
money,
so.
No.
So I mean, but again, when you think you're going to pay all that money to get over here,
Right,
it's really
right.
not worth it. Like that little bit will cover a portion of what you're doing.
Right.
So, well, I think there's a reason why the U.S. Open was the one where it was kind of pretty consistent that they all kind of went to, if anyone was going,
Obviously.
was because they're all there, right? And you can stay for an extended period.
Vacation. They can do
Right.
It's an event.
It's an event.
Holiday. You get to compete on holiday.
Right.
That's it. You got Florida, you got Florida weather, you got Disney World, you got Universal Studios. Listen, it's a recipe for success in that time frame to not have.
Right.
That's why you see the big South African, the Australian. We had people from China come over. Like,
Yeah.
we got a lot of European countries come over a lot of times. So yeah,
Just don't make it 4th of July weekend. Why does it always have to be that? It wasn't always 4th of July weekend. But for a good amount of time, it was 4th of July weekend. And I was like, I'm tired of this. I remember I said to, who was I talking to? I think I was talking to like Elias Lemon one time. And I was like, man, I got 4th of July again. And he goes, I don't remember 4th of July outside of the U.S. Open. That's all I know it as.
Yeah.
That's a very good point. So
yes. Now that last year when they drew, good point, when they did last year when they did the battle and the U.S. Open back to back.
yeah.
It was
But
that
they've
week.
had that
week.
in the past where there's like 1 week in between, 2 weeks in between. That's not bad. Where you can
It's
do
not
something
bad,
like
but
that.
I still like when the battle was in April. You know what I mean? Like back in the day.
Yeah.
because it was just like it was the first big event. It was spread out.
There you go.
Then you had bluegrass. Then you had, and that was in the beginning of June. And then in the beginning of July was US Open. And then
You liked
it
it
was
better in April
Diamonds.
than when it was in September?
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, September was
Yeah. Never mind.
Say again. Oh,
Nothing.
oh yeah, because there was something else going on, but yeah. In April. No, man. You don't. Oh, see, Alex, I don't know if you ever went.
Nah, I don't think you ever went
What's up,
back then.
Stefan? I don't think you went back then, but there was a
What?
little thing called Freaknik back in the day.
Oh,
Sir.
I know what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm aware of Freaknik.
Yeah. So that was going on like most of the time, 2 or 3 years in a row. The same weekend. But
Yes,
yeah.
listen, Mike Bates. I have been saying
Agreed.
this for years. I don't understand why you put cold weather states tournaments in the middle of the cold weather. Minnesota used to be that way. AKAs has always been in the middle of the snow, and Chicago is ridiculous. The cold, I'm from Florida. That cold is different.
But you know what? I'm telling you what. I bet you in Chicago, if I wanted to get a flight to Chicago from my hometown in June, it would be a lot more expensive than it was in January.
Which, by the way, you're going to Chicago, right?
Yeah, I just booked my ticket today.
Chris, you going?
Probably.
Probably. He went last year, 2 years ago, whatever. Yeah.
2027.
So I got my ticket for under $200, which all right, I know some people are like, oh yeah, that's normal. Not for me. All right. I'm in an airport that has one terminal, okay? Like one terminal, one airline. All right. Under $200, that's insane. Normally for me to fly from my hometown, it's $600 to $700.
Stop. Just take a cab to like Reagan International.
Well, that's what I usually do, and it will still be $300. But right now, flights are under $200 everywhere. So yeah.
Listen, I got a flight for round trip to Cali coming up here for $85.
Holy
So,
crap!
like,
That's insane,
I
man.
never get this stuff. This has been one fantastic show. I gotta tell you. I love it.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, hey, did you guys talk about at all the league stuff or anything like that?
No, we
Yeah,
did not
talk
mention the
No.
league yet.
All right. So
Thanks
Justice
for bringing
Lawrence
that up.
came back,
Listen,
man.
that's my guy right there.
Yeah, man. Justice Lawrence came back and won the league. Overall is, I believe, right, Chris?
Yeah.
I think he fought in the 30 plus and the 40 plus, and then won the overall grands.
Yes, he
Haven't
did.
seen that dude fight in a long time.
I
Man.
love
I'm
watching
so
him
glad
fight.
that he's back because I keep him like
Yeah,
top
I know.
of
Yeah, I
my
know.
pickers list. And people are like, Justice who? And I'm like,
They're like, who's
Justice
that? No.
freaking
Listen, Alex.
Lawrence.
This pains me again to say. This is one time where I actually agree with you. Having fought Justice, my man's leg is legs. Both joints are
Yeah, he can do both.
Because he threw like he would pump kick at me, and I'd check him, and I'd move, and I'd hit him with a body punch, and then he threw his leg again, and then out of nowhere he threw a spin, and I was like, oh wait, and then he stayed on that side, and then he threw that leg, and I was like, oh wait a minute, which leg does he kick with? Huh? Now I have to readjust my whole position, but yeah.
So
Right. Did you fight him in Vegas or did you fight him?
I fought him in Kentucky 1 year.
Kentucky. Yeah, when
Yes,
he fought.
05.
Yeah, that's right. Before.
So
Okay.
here's funny story about that. So I remember that match vividly. I remember that. And I was like, oh, Chris has got this. Because I didn't really know. I've heard of Justice. I didn't know a lot about Justice. And I was like, what is he doing? What is this guy doing? Right? The next day, I fought middleweight. Elias Lemon was fighting middleweight. We're tight. Right? Justice is in there. Right? It was actually a pretty stacked division. There's BT Webb. There was Elias, me, Justice, and Raymond. All right? So I remember saying to Elias, I was like, don't worry about that guy. You know, he's those axe kicks, those spins. He fights left side. He can't do those same things on you. You're much longer and taller. He can't do those things. First thing Justice does, switches, puts his right side in front. And I'm like, what are you doing? Axe kick right to his head. I'm like, okay, never mind. Elias picks his leg up, spin. Now, this is when it was a 5-point spread at that point.
Right.
5 point. No, it's a 5-point match.
Elias turns back and looks at me, and I'm like, my bad. Right? So, yeah. And I'm like,
Wow.
I'm watching this guy forever now. And I went back. I watched every video on Justice I could find. He's a freaking unicorn, right? He does stuff that you try to do, unlike video game cheat codes. That's real life for him. So
Yep.
yeah, I'm glad that he's back doing this. Now I don't look like a fool. People can actually watch. No, he's actually real life. This is a real thing. So that's great.
Yeah, he's good.
Drew Beatty, she won the women's.
She won the women's.
Well,
Yep. Yeah, she won the women's.
speaking of
What was the other? Yeah, speaking of kickers, yeah. I know you guys talked about who won at the IMAF. Is that what it's called?
International Martial Arts Festival. Brian Rodriguez.
Yep. Yep. Brian.
And then not CTE, but yeah.
Yeah, there were some other things going on and stuff, but another cool thing. Hey, I want to give a big shout out to Jack Felton for naming his grand champion after my boy Donald Vickers. That was really cool, man. Jack and Donald were really good friends.
Super tight.
Real tight. When I was in college, both of those dudes would like call me and instant message me in the middle of the night, and we would just stay up and just talk on the phone and mess around. I mean, just those guys were like we were boys, man, all growing up around the same time, and it was really cool to see that for him to honor him that way. So and man, Donald and I fought several times in continuous. Crazy fights. So big dude.
Big dude, strong dude.
Yeah.
Good dude.
So
good guy.
What I didn't understand about that is when Jack Felton named his award, what is that award?
So it's like the men's grand championship. For men's fighting.
The award
for like his tournament.
He's having a karate tournament.
All right, I understand.
November 7th.
All right, got
Sunday.
it.
Yeah, next weekend.
That's right.
Oh, all right. So
that's why I got a flight for $75 for $85.
Yeah, I was working on that, but I got something else that weekend, so I was gonna go too. But yeah,
but what Jack did though with that, like having it named after that makes more sense now. Not having it named after like a promoter, right, who is just doing the same thing everybody else is doing, right? I thought one of the best, classiest things NASCA did was name the Sportsman of the Year award after Ken Eubanks.
Yeah.
Right. And I think like the first person to get it was like Andrew Caliban, and then it was Ross Levine. And then after that, it was every promoter you ever saw. And I was like, you had something great going.
Right.
So what Jack's doing, naming his champion award after Donald Vickers, I think that's fantastic. I think that's
this year at the Diamonds, they gave it to who's the guy? Legend. Tony Hamsami.
Yeah.
At Diamonds, they gave the Ken Eubanks Award to him. So
which is a good thing.
Yes.
But listen, I just say what I feel sometimes. But there's political angles to this stuff too. All right. So you name them after promoters because you want the promoters to keep going. You name them after coaches because you want the coaches to keep coming and bringing their teams. Just, you know what I mean? Not that Tony's not deserving, because he absolutely is.
No, Tony is deserving, but I get what you're saying.
Outside of that, Tony, 100%, you are absolutely deserving of that. And if I would be giving an award, you'd probably get it as well. I just think it's jaded.
Agreed.
You go back the last 10 years, and what did you see? You know what I mean?
Right. Well, yeah, we say that a lot, unfortunately.
True. Yeah, there's always something for them.
Yep.
What else did we talk about before Jeff? Jeff was concentration. WKCs. Have you watched any of the WKC? I know obviously you've
a little bit, but not today. But the first day I watched a little bit, but yeah, just checking on my boy, like Edgar and those guys, checking on them and seeing what's going on, but
Beast.
I'll
he's really
tomorrow. The rest of the weekend, when the finals come on, that's kind of when I start paying attention.
Yeah, no, Alex, I'm quite sure he's his post said he was 6 for 6.
Yeah, he was. And then the little guy Caleb Boyle was 7 for 7.
Caleb was too. Okay,
yeah. I have one of the girls that I started working with this year over the past 3 or 4 months. She won her round and is ranked first. Going into tomorrow, so for Korean Forms. So her name's Madeline She's from she lives in Georgia now. But yeah, so
Where?
I've been working. Yeah, okay. I don't know, dude. Like,
Whatever. Fine.
dude, you
whatever.
guys have all the little counties and stuff around the area. I don't know, man.
Okay. Fine.
I'll let you know soon.
Counties.
Find somewhere where you can
Wait,
get
what are
some-
you talking about?
help.
What do you mean little counties?
Well, like everyone, all right, when you say, all right, you can say Atlanta, but like really everyone has a different little area. Like Chris lives
Suburbs.
suburb. All right, whatever. I say counties. You guys say suburbs, whatever. All right. I live in a small town. Okay. We call it counties where I live. All right.
Sure.
Homie,
True.
extend your
Jeff
trip.
lives in a
When
small
you
town.
go to Chicago, extend your trip another day. Go switch your flight. Come in a day earlier. Stay a day later. I'm gonna bring you around. Okay.
I'm coming in early on Thursday and leaving late on Sunday. So
All right. Cool.
we'll see. We'll figure it out.
I'll take you around.
Oh man,
Sunday's my daughter's birthday though, so you're gonna have to fend for yourself.
that's fine, man. I'm good.
Right.
All right. Anything else, guys? We got to talk about, or
I mean, we
I
did
mean,
a
I know
lot.
most of. I mean,
No, you know what?
do we need to tell everybody?
Jeff?
Yeah.
No, Jeff, you could be the tiebreaker on this one.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Brought this up. Okay. We talked right away heavily on Elijah and Bailey. Okay.
Yes.
And I brought this up because it was the World Amateur Kickboxing Association World Championships
Organization.
for organization World Championships for point fighting. Should there be a kick minimum?
I think I brought this up in the chat. I kind of, in some ways, I'm kind of for it in some ways, but I'm like, my only thing about it was I watched this not all the way 6-minute fight, and there was one kick thrown, like literally, like I was about to say he didn't throw any kicks. I don't remember him throwing any kicks, Elijah, but there was one kick thrown, and that was my only thing. I'm like, there could be I was just thinking there could be an argument for that, right? There could be an argument for it because in was it PKA? There was a kick minimum.
Yep.
And the other thing, there's a kick minimum. So if we're calling it kickboxing, maybe there should be. It's a little harder to do in point fighting. Well, maybe not. I don't know.
No.
But I mean, I think there's an argument for it. I can't say a definitive yes or no, but I feel like it's still a different style. Like the way that Elijah fights is still a point fighting style than a kickboxing style. So I don't know. I still think it has that karate element into it.
He'll kickbox with you too now. Don't go get it twisted.
What? Say again?
I said he'll kickbox with you too.
Yes.
No, and that's what I'm saying. That's why, like, I don't want it to be against Elijah because this dude
I know what you're saying. But
can do everything.
Let's
What was it, the last?
How about
time out.
Tomas Imre? It's the same dang thing, just
Oh,
Elijah's
right.
faster.
Right. Well, let's talk about Elijah. The last World Championships, he won gold in all three, right? Well, teams, point, and then he won light contact.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he's also won kick light as well.
But he has one kick light. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
and they have kick minimums in those, so you know he can kick.
Yeah, exactly. He can. I mean, and even when he did that one side kick in the fight, it was high. It was a good side kick. So, I mean, I'm just saying, like, there's things like that. I get what you're saying, and I think I brought it up. I was just like, man, should there be a kick minimum?
I mean, like even in full contact, if fighter A just steps back and goes 1, 2, 3, 4, those count.
No, they don't.
They don't count.
No, they have to be in an attempt to make contact.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's why you have to have somebody watching a separate judge counting the kicks and holding the flag up to say. That's why I said you're going to have to get 5 judges now in every one, and who's counting those kicks?
Yeah, there has to be judges that look at something else, and then one's judging the fight. It's just like in continuous, like the center ref should not be judging who wins or loses. They should just be doing penalties and breaking up the action if it needs to be. The corners need to be the ones judging the fight. It's kind of the same type thing, right? And I've been to tournaments where they didn't do that, and they made the center ref be the one point. And I didn't know because I'm just trying to watch the action, and I'm sitting there being the center. I'm like, okay, like,
yeah, right.
like it's not right, So
the higher level the fighters, the harder it is to do.
Yes.
So
definitely. I don't think it can happen. All right. Here's the deal, Alex. Should it happen? Maybe, but do I think it can happen? I don't think so.
But see, that's the problem is people look at the logistics and they go, oh, how can we make it happen? That's not the point. Should it be the case? Should there be?
And then find a way how it could be. Yeah. I mean, I think as long as you do one kick, but what would be the minimum? What would you feel would be good with the minimum?
Probably
and again, we're talking about, because again, World Championships is different than their regular events, right? In normal World Cup events, 2 rounds, right, Chris?
Yeah, I think they've moved them up to 2 rounds now.
Okay, but some
like national events, yeah, I think.
Yeah, like Ireland and Best Fighter and
They're all 2.
two minutes.
Okay, so it'd be 2 minutes. Okay, so in a 2-minute round, 2-minute fight, 4 minutes? Sorry, what would you think would be a good minimum? Would it be 4, like at least 2 during each one, or would it be more than that? I mean, I feel like sometimes when we get these minimums, we go a little too crazy, right? Like I don't even, like I don't even remember what the minimum is
8
in PKA. Was it 8?
Oh,
8
I know.
kicks.
PKA, I don't remember.
It's
But I was going
8
to say,
kicks
remember NBL?
for
NBL was
3
an
minutes.
8 kick minimum in 90 seconds.
Oh, I thought it
No.
was for the round. It's 8 kicks for the.
There was not a kick minimum. You just
Oh.
had to.
You
couldn't
got
throw.
between every 3 punches. Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't throw more than 3 punches in a row without throwing a kick or separating. So you could technically just punch the whole time, but you had to separate after each one.
Well, I know
But most of the time people threw a kick. So
Yeah, of course.
in most kickboxing matches I've seen, whether they were, I don't think it was PKA,
whatever the
But-
next level was,
but
ISKA or whatever.
they were 8 kicks
Yeah,
per 1 3-minute round.
per one round. Yeah.
So if we're doing a 1 2-minute point fight, why can't we do 3?
You
That's
can
not
again.
allowed.
You can. You just have to get those extra judges to judge the kicks.
Right. Because let's be honest, there's
And we
plenty of
already have
times
too many judges. We
you
already have
fought
to.
somebody where you're like, I dare you to kick at me. I dare you. Bad things will happen if you kick, and you know you won't kick. There's plenty of guys like that, right? So,
But is that right or
they
wrong?
have-
You know what I mean?
it's kick boxing.
Well, true.
It's
I don't know.
in the name.
Yeah, I can't divide this one up because
Ah,
All right, we need to get
All right.
going.
yeah. Let's wrap this one up.
No.
No, what? You
I
think
knew
this
that
should
was
be a
coming.
kick
No.
minimum?
Thank you, Trav.
No kick.
There's no
No,
point in it. Let people fight the way they want to fight.
I agree on that. You gotta
It's
fight
that
your
simple.
style.
Stop
I mean,
You gotta
talking
fight
about
your
wrong.
style.
It's like I know.
So should there be a punch minimum for people who don't punch enough? Because there are people who don't punch in their fights either.
That-
Right.
Now that is
Yeah.
actually a very good one.
Yeah,
That's
no.
a great point. I like
both.
that. I like that. A
I've said
lot.
I'm out. Hurry up because I can get back to the beach.
That's right.
All right, we'll pick up on this next week. Be tuned in because the Inside Scoop is going to have a special coming up before next week's show. So tune in, pay attention. This has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. He is.
Chris Walker.
Thanks again, guys. Thanks for all the comments and stuff. Y'all have a great day.
Yeah, man.